Rock history looked neat on record sleeves, but it got rewritten in live seconds. Cameras caught the moments when legends went off script, and the crowd realized it was witnessing something permanent. Subscribe, then settle in. This countdown treats every wild story like it happened in real time. Number 15, Ozzy Osbourne. One thrown object, one split second, and a touring arena became a permanent headline. On January 20th, 1982 in Des Moines, during the Diary of a Madman tour, a bat landed on stage at Veterans Memorial Auditorium. Thinking it was a rubber toy, Ozzy bit down, then instantly realized it was real. The show kept moving, the audience screamed, and by morning, the story had outrun every review and setlist detail. The shock landed because Ozzy was already the face of a new, heavy era. His solo debut, Blizzard of Oz, produced by Max Norman, was later certified 5 times platinum in the United States, and it helped define the sound that fed Metallica, Slayer, and Pantera. With Randy Rhoads as the lightning rod on guitar, Ozzy proved that a rock icon could surprise fans with one unforgettable, chaotic second. Number 14, Sex Pistols. Early evening television was not built for punk, and December 1st, 1976 proved it. After Queen cancelled their appearance last minute due to Freddie Mercury's dental emergency, the Sex Pistols were booked onto Thames Television's Today with host Bill Grundy. The interview curdled fast. The band swore on live TV, and the country watched a new youth movement crash straight through the rules of polite broadcasting.
Dirty fucker.
What a clever boy.
What a fucking rotter.
Well, that's it for tonight.
For many viewers, punk did not arrive on a record. It arrived like a scandal. The aftermath only amplified their reach. God Save the Queen, released in 1977, hit a peak of number 2 on the official singles chart, even amid bans and controversy. And their only studio album, Nevermind, The Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols, went to number 1 in the United Kingdom. The moment helped open doors, later stormed by The Clash, The Ramones, and, decades later, Nirvana. Number 13, Sinead O'Connor. Live television left no rewind button, and October 3rd, 1992 proved it. On Saturday Night Live, she performed Bob Marley's War a cappella, then held up a photo of Pope John Paul II and tore it apart. The studio froze, the backlash began immediately, and a pop career that had felt unstoppable suddenly turned into a national argument, all from one deliberate, unscripted, on-air act. The jolt felt even bigger because her success was already undeniable. Nothing Compares 2 hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1990, and the album I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got, produced with Nelly Hooper, was certified 2 times platinum in the United States. Her choice foreshadowed the later out-loud defiance of artists like Alanis Morissette, Tori Amos, and Fiona Apple, where emotion and confrontation lived in the same spotlight. Number 12, The Who. A television variety hour turned into a demolition derby on September 17, 1967. The Who tore through My Generation on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour. Instruments crashed, and then drummer Keith Moon set off a blast in his bass drum that was far bigger than planned. The explosion filled the stage with smoke, sparked panic on the set, and became one of the clearest moments of rock colliding with broadcast standards. The band had already built its brand on intensity. My Generation had reached #2 in the United Kingdom, produced by Shel Talmy, and The Who treated performance like impact, not polish. Pete Townshend later linked the incident to long-term hearing damage, and the spectacle echoed through the aggression of punk and hard rock. You could feel the template in bands like the Ramones, The Clash, and much later, Pearl Jam. Number 11, Green Day.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine?
Punk energy met festival mud, and the result looked like a riot filmed in daylight. On August 14th, 1994 at Woodstock, 1994 in Saugerties, New York, Green Day leaned into a mud fight with the crowd, flinging clumps back while fans surged toward the stage.
Fucking turn me one of these mud hippies. I am not going to become a mud hippie. I don't care what you say.
In the chaos, bassist Mike Dirnt was mistaken for a stage invader and tackled by security, cracking his front teeth and turning a wild set into a painful headline. The twist was that Green Day were also a precision hit machine. Dookie, produced by Rob Cavallo and released on Reprise, was certified 20 times platinum by the RIAA as of September 16, 2024. That blend of pop hooks and punk danger helped shape the path later used by Blink, 182, Fall Out Boy, and My Chemical Romance. Fans expected fun. They got a moment that proved how fast a concert could tip into chaos. Before we continue, which concert disaster story got repeated at your school or workplace like breaking news? Which band did your friends swear was the most dangerous live act, even if you never saw them in person? Drop a comment with the act and the year, then keep the countdown rolling. Number 10, Jimi Hendrix. In June 1967, rock performance stopped being only sound and became pure image. At the Monterey International Pop Festival on June 18, 1967, Jimi Hendrix closed Wild Thing by kneeling, dousing his guitar, and setting it on fire. It looked like a ritual, not a gag. Noel Redding and Mitch Mitchell held the groove steady, while Hendrix turned a finale into a symbol that still reads as shock, beauty, and control. The spectacle worked because the music underneath it was already revolutionary. Are You Experienced, produced by Chaz Chandler, was certified 6 times platinum by the RIAA as of December 11, 2025. Hendrix reset what a guitar could do, and the ripple hit everyone from Jimmy Page to Eddie Van Halen to Stevie Ray Vaughan. Fans came to see a new star and left, realizing the rules of the stage had changed overnight. Number 9, Bob Dylan. A folk hero walked on stage with an electric guitar, and a movement split in real time. On July 25, 1965, at the Newport Folk Festival, Bob Dylan plugged in and blasted through an amplified set with a backing band. Some fans cheered the energy, others booed the betrayal. And Dylan looked determined to keep moving forward. In a few minutes, the idea of authenticity became a battlefield instead of a slogan. The pivot was backed by a song that already sounded like a new era, like a Rolling Stone hit number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, produced by Tom Wilson, and it helped push rock toward longer, sharper storytelling. The aftershocks ran straight into the Byrds, the Beatles, and later Bruce Springsteen. Fans expected the protest poet, they got the electric architect, and the surprise rewired popular music's future. Number 8, the Beatles. Fame did not just sell records, it provoked fear, and 1966 showed how fast it could turn. In a March 4th, 1966 interview in the London Evening Standard, John Lennon made an offhand remark comparing religion and the Beatles' popularity.
Beatles as though those other Beatles, like other people say it. I just said they are having more influence on kids and things than anything else, including Jesus, but I said it in that way.
Months later, as the quote spread in the United States, it triggered boycotts, radio bans, and public burnings of Beatles records. A band built on joy suddenly faced crowds that felt angry and threatened. The scale mattered, because their audience was massive. The RIAA lists the Beatles as the top certified artist in the United States, with 183 million certified units. The backlash became a warning sign for later artists who collided with mainstream morality, from Jim Morrison to Madonna. Fans were surprised because the cleanest pop phenomenon of the decade suddenly looked like the center of a culture war. Number 7. Elvis Presley. One hip shake was enough to frighten an entire generation of TV gatekeepers. On September 9, 1956, Elvis hit The Ed Sullivan Show and drew an audience estimated at about 60 million viewers, roughly 82.6% of the television audience. He sang "Don't Be Cruel," "Ready Teddy," and "Hound Dog." And the camera work sometimes tightened up when the movement got too hot for prime time. America did not just watch, it reacted.
And I always
The famous waist-up censorship story also grew into its own legend. Elvis returned for a third appearance on January 6, 1957, and performed calmer material, including Peace in the Valley, and the myth of strict filming choices became part of the folklore. At 21 and 22 years old during those appearances, Elvis set a template later used by the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Prince. Number 6. Rage Against the Machine. An awards show turned into a live protest, and the cameras had nowhere to hide. On September 7, 2000, at the MTV Video Music Awards, Rage Against the Machine performed Testify, then watched Limp Bizkit win Best Rock Video. Bassist Tim Commerford climbed the set scaffolding, refused to come down, and was arrested for disorderly conduct. The stunt was chaotic, but it matched the band's mission to fight the machine in public.
They are gonna kick his ass!
Cops, they were embarrassed and humiliated and frustrated because they could not get the cat out of the tree.
The anger also came from a position of real commercial power. The Battle of Los Angeles, produced by Brendan O'Brien and released on Epic, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 with first week's sales reported around the 420,000 to 430,000 range. Their sound helped shape later rap rock and heavy alternative, echoing through Linkin Park, System of a Down, and Run the Jewels. Before we continue, which live TV moment made you sit up straight because it felt genuinely uncontrollable? Did you watch it as it happened, or hear about it the next day like a rumor turning real? Drop a comment with where you are watching from, city and state, then keep counting down. Number 5. Nirvana. Mainstream exposure arrived, and the band treated it like a prank with teeth. On November 28, 1991, Nirvana appeared on Top of the Pops with Smells Like Teen Spirit, and the show's expectation of miming became the joke. Kurt Cobain sang in an exaggerated low voice, Krist Novoselic played up the chaos, and Dave Grohl hit with the intensity of a real gig. It was a protest against fake performance, broadcast on a stage built for it. Behind the sabotage was a serious cultural takeover. Nevermind, produced by Butch Vig and released on DGC, was certified 13 times platinum by the RIAA as of 2024. The band's attitude became a blueprint for alternative credibility, shaping later acts like Radiohead, Weezer, and Queens of the Stone Age. Fans expected a neat TV performance. They got a band daring the format to keep up. Number 4. David Bowie. A farewell happened in front of thousands of paying fans, and it landed like a plot twist. On July 3rd, 1973, at the Hammersmith Odeon in London, Bowie ended the show by announcing it was the last show they would ever do, effectively retiring Ziggy Stardust on stage. The crowd came for glam spectacle, and instead watched a character get killed off in real time, right before their eyes. The move worked because Bowie treated identity as part of the art.
Not only is it the last show of the tour, but it's the last show that we'll ever do. Thank you.
The rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, produced by Ken Scott and Bowie, had already turned him into a world builder. At 26 years old, he showed that reinvention could be dramatic, not gradual. You could feel that influence later in artists like The Cure, Depeche Mode, and Lady Gaga, where the persona carried real power. Number 3. Prince. An all-star tribute became a takeover, and nobody could stop it. On March 15th, 2004, at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony at the Waldorf Astoria in New York, a huge group launched into While My Guitar Gently Weeps to honor George Harrison.
My guitar gently weeps.
Prince stepped forward late, delivered a solo that sounded like control and chaos at once, then tossed his guitar off stage as if gravity was optional. The room was stacked with pros, and still he stole the frame. That swagger was backed by historic success. Purple Rain hit number 1 on the Billboard 200 and was certified 13 times platinum by the RIAA. Prince's genre-bending spirit echoed through Lenny Kravitz, D'Angelo, and Bruno Mars. Fans expected a respectful tribute. They got a reminder that Prince treated any stage like it belonged to him. Number 2. Pink Floyd.
Passing in the street, by chance two separate glances meet.
A reunion that felt impossible actually happened, and it played like a peace treaty with amplifiers. On July 2nd, 2005, at Live 8 in Hyde Park, Pink Floyd appeared with Roger Waters alongside David Gilmour, Nick Mason, and Richard Wright. They performed a short set that included Money, Wish You Were Here, and Comfortably Numb. For a band famous for internal distance, the surprise was simple. They stood together and sounded like history. The legacy behind that moment was already enormous.
Comfortably numb.
The Dark Side of the Moon was certified 15 times platinum by the RIAA as of June 4th, 1998. With Alan Parsons as a key engineer on the original sessions, their scale and atmosphere shaped later acts like Radiohead, Tool, and Porcupine Tree. Fans expected nostalgia. They got a genuine, hard-earned reunion. Number 1. The Beatles. A lunchtime street became an audience, and the surprise felt oddly peaceful. On January 30th, 1969, the Beatles climbed onto the roof of Apple Corps at 3 Savile Row in London and began playing without a public announcement. Billy Preston joined on keyboards. Passers-by looked up, and office windows filled with faces. Police eventually arrived, and the gear started getting shut down. But the band kept squeezing out takes of Get Back, Dig a Pony, and I've Got a Feeling. The magic was that it looked like a band trying to be a band again. It lasted about 42 minutes and was filmed by Michael Lindsay Hogg for what became Let It Be. John Lennon and Ringo Starr were 28, Paul McCartney was 26, and George Harrison was 25. Fans expected a normal day. They got the last public Beatles performance, floating above the city.